So another project that you did a lot of work on is the Veterans Home.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that some.
Yeah. So that's another one of those things that when I got here, people, when I got back here, people were talking about they wanted it, and there was a lot of promises that it was being worked on. And then when I got up there, I discovered that we were nowhere near getting it. And so I filed the bill. It was kind of catastrophic success. I thought it was going to take me a couple of years. It took me 4 months, and I got the funding for it. And the way it works is the Veterans Home is part of this federal program where we pay 35%, and the U.S. Veterans Affairs Department pays 65%. But then once it's built, it's ours, and we run it. And so I got the funding for the 35%, but we still need the funding from the Department of Veterans Affairs. And I've been, whenever Jerry Moran sees me now, the first thing he says is, "I'm working on getting you your Veterans Home," because he knows that that's the first thing I'm going to ask. And the same with Jake Turner, and they've been great. They are working on it, and I'm confident that we're going to get the grant. The other piece of news is they finally picked a site. They were. They had a panel, and it was just going to be the governor's people, people from the different departments. They weren't even going to let veterans on the committee, and I raised a bunch of stink. And like I said, I can be persistent when I want something I want, and I got all the members of the Veterans Committee to sign on to a letter that I sent to the director of the Kansas Commission on Veterans Affairs. Demanding that they put a veteran service officer on the committee. They ended up putting 2 veteran service organizations reps on the committee from the American Legion and the VFW, and so they had a say in the location. I wanted it in Leavenworth. I fought really hard for Leavenworth, but the site that we offered wasn't expansible. They could have built it there, but they wouldn't have been able to build onto it later just based on the real estate. And so they picked a spot in Topeka, right outside the Veterans Administration Hospital there, to put it, because there's lots of room to expand. I wish it had been in Leavenworth, but at least it's not in Junction City, which is where the other kind of competing site was, and it's not out in Winfield and Dodge where the ones are now, which are hours and hours away. And so we're going to have the Veterans Home, 72 beds of long-term care. It's going to be an hour away, and so families can still visit their veterans, which is very important. And I haven't given up though. I haven't given up, because until that grant comes, there's still a chance. And so I'm gonna continue to be a thorn in their side until the decision's finalized. But I think it's going to end up in Topeka, but I'm not giving up.